Hey there, Scott Shoemaker here. I am an estate planning attorney in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And one of the questions I get very often when I tell people that I practice primarily in estate planning is, what is estate planning? And as I was looking back through the videos that I have posted in this group, I was actually a little surprised that I had never answered this question: what is estate planning? So let me tell you. Estate planning is a branch of law practice that focuses primarily on what happens after you die. Very simply, your estate is the things that you own at the time of your death. And so we look at what is important to an individual in terms of how to manage those assets. And often we tackle some of the questions around death and dying as well. So often in an estate plan, we will include documents that squarely address the question of what happens to your stuff after you die. So a will or a living trust or some other type of document that disposes of your assets is often sort of the cornerstone of an estate plan. And often those documents also are intended to address other relevant questions, managing tax consequences and making sure that your family members might remain entitled to government mean-tested benefits like Medicaid or Social Security or those other types of benefits. In addition, we oftentimes tackle things like what will happen to your minor children, who will become the guardians of your minor children at the time of your death, should they still be minor children. And how will those children be taken care of? And then also, even if you don't have minor children but have adult children, spouses, other family members, who will or how will those family members be provided for after your death? How will your assets be used to provide for your family members after you die? We also tackle typically end-of-life issues, so advanced healthcare directives, healthcare powers of attorney, and HIPAA waivers are all very common documents to be prepared by an estate planning attorney. And we also deal with general powers of attorney. So a good estate plan will tackle your assets at the time of your death, your assets during incapacity, which might precede your death, health care. We'll make sure your family is adequately taken care of in terms of guardians and other things. We'll protect your family and their eligibility for government benefits that are important to them as well. One misconception that I think often I hear about estate planning is that people feel like they don't have enough stuff to warrant having an estate plan. And frankly, I think in most cases that's not true. Most people, if they have really any significant assets, and by significant I mean if you own real estate, you probably ought to speak with an attorney about an estate plan, just so that you understand, at the very least, understand the consequences of the choices that you make regarding your plan. If you're not excited about the consequences of having no plan or other situations, then you can make some conscious choices and at least go into things with an understanding of what's out there. So estate planning is all about planning for the succession of your assets, planning for what will happen to you in the event of your incapacity and your eventual death. And you don't have to be a super wealthy person in order to have an estate plan.